Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Steel Sanctuary Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Rivero from SteelSanctuary.com, and this is my co-host, David Coro. Dave, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Dave, I'm thinking about changing the podcast name to the Brandon Ayuk podcast because it just does not, the Brandon Ayuk stuff just does not go away.
It's a solid idea.
Right at this
Little,
point,
little,
this,
little rebranding. I think we'd have content for the rest of our lives, or at least that's what it feels like.
we had it all summer anyway, for sure.
Yeah,
All
no
right.
doubt.
As of when we talked Tuesday night, we thought it was close. Wednesday afternoon, I really thought it was going to get done. There was a couple reports floating around there. I thought it was done. It's now Thursday night as we're taping this. It's still not done. Doesn't look any closer than it was Tuesday or Wednesday.
Well, it's evolved.
It
It's
is evolving. It
it's
is. You're right.
evolving.
That's a good
Like
word.
it's evolved now into wait, maybe there's a third team, and we're gonna
Third
have a
team now.
three-way trade, and they just want all of the Steelers draft picks to spin that for a different wide receiver, so they still have a good wide receiver, but they get the draft picks in the process. I don't give a shit. Fine. You know what I'm saying? If in the end we don't give up that first round pick, but somehow still get Brandon Ayuk, that's great. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit if they use it to go get Adams or somebody floated Sutton from Denver. I don't care. As long as we
Yeah.
get Ayuk and we get our guy, I don't give a shit. And don't give up the first round pick. That's a win-win for me. I don't know about you, but that's to me that's good.
It depends on how much draft capital we're talking about here. I mean, I guess that's the hang up, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I did hear, the 49ers may be interested in flipping whatever the Steelers give them for Devontae Adams. Um, doesn't San Francisco have enough offensive weapons? Do they really need to get a big time? I don't. I'm not sure I get this whole narrative. I'm not sure I believe
Yeah,
it either.
true. No, you're
They got,
right. I don't know though.
they got a great tight end. They've got a couple of good receivers besides Ayuk. Um, got the best running back in football, pretty much. It's just I don't get it. This, this is silly, but George Pickens' name keeps getting bandied about on this thing. I don't know where people are getting this. I would fall off my chair shocked if George Pickens was part of this deal. I would just be flat. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I will go jump off the Fort Pitt Bridge if they trade away Pickens because that would just why even do this? The whole thing about this is getting that number two. And we can argue, which one's the one, which one's the two. But the whole thing is we don't have a legit number two weapon. So that would defy everything, the whole reasoning behind this. So I don't know why anybody's strung it out there. That's just so stupid. But whatever.
I mean,
I don't know. It's a media thing. The national media is pushing this,
yeah.
and it's
If
like
Pickens is in the steal, it's done.
right,
If they offered Pickens, the steal's done a month ago, 2 months ago.
right. That it just defies logic. Like, what are we doing here? Like, that does no. They're not doing that. I don't believe that. No, there's not even 1% of me that believes that, Dave. Like, no.
Yeah, I don't believe it. The only way, I don't even know. We know that George Pickens has been kind of a pain in the ass his first 2 years. I mean, I guess there's a world where they're sick of his shit and don't mind peddling him off. I don't believe that. But
But
if
it
that
doesn't.
would be the only way that would make any sense to me is they've
It
had it, they're done with
yeah,
him. But
but
I
it
don't,
hurts
I don't,
them. It hurts them even worse.
it does.
They've
It
already.
does. It
So
does.
let me put it this way: they've already hurt themselves by getting rid of DJ. You already sent him packing. If you send the other one, then you're just, I mean, this doesn't make you. You're making no sense here. Like personally, to me, it's stupid. So it ain't happen. I don't believe that for 1 second. Not one. It's somebody just wants to sound smart, probably, and they
Just
put
throwing
it
shit.
out
Yeah.
there to the national media, and then people are running with it, especially 49ers fans, and I see Browns fans pushing it. Well,
Well,
gee, I wonder why the fuck
yeah.
they would be pushing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever.
I mean, that's best case scenario for 49ers fans. They get George Pickens back, and then they're set
Yeah.
because they're about to lose one of their best wide receivers. He's going. I don't think there's any question about that. Just where at this point and when.
And I know you say they got a lot of weapons, but technically Ayuk is probably their best weapon. I mean, you could argue Debo Samuel as far as receivers goes, but
Yeah, yeah,
either way, that hurts.
yeah. It
Losing
does hurt.
that hurts. I mean, don't get me wrong. They've got McCaffrey. They've got Kittle. Like I get that they have all these other weapons, but as far as wide receivers goes, Debo Samuel as the one, with him getting hurt a lot too, because Samuel gets hurt a lot.
Yeah.
So that's why
they're
they're probably thinking, we do need to go flip this and go get a wide receiver. But they're not going to. They know that George Pickens is a no starter. It's just not going to happen. Now, we give them either a Austin the third or something like that. Okay, Calvin Austin, or I won't say Van Jefferson, but you get my point. I could see us giving them a tier 2, tier 3 wide receiver in the deal. But
would you throw Roman Wilson in there? Would you throw Roman Wilson in that deal?
I'd be tempted.
I do it. Yeah, you get Ayuk back. You don't need Roman Wilson. You don't need him. I mean, you want a young receiver, but you'll just go draft another one next year.
Right. And don't get me wrong, I really like.
I do too.
I like him, but like to get the deal done, yes, I think I can see myself doing that.
All right, so I kind of did a deep dive into their roster, and it's pretty strong. They're pretty deep at almost every position.
It's ridiculous.
The one thing that may be a serious weakness for them is, and I knew this, but I didn't know it, Trent Williams is holding out right now. And he's 36 years old. So left tackle, he's holding out. So left tackle definitely is a position of need for the 49ers if there is a glaring weakness there. So I floated out. Well, I didn't float out. I just posed the question on Twitter. Would you be okay with Broderick Jones being in this deal? And I got the resounding, Steelers fans don't want any part of that. Like Broderick Jones is a 4 or 5-time Pro Bowler. I mean, guys, he didn't even play left tackle that much at Georgia. We don't know who Broderick Jones is. I'm not looking to trade Broderick Jones, but if it came down to even up, I think I'd do that. That's
tough.
Dave.
That's tough for me. That's a first round draft pick we traded up for last year. Oh, that's tough. The problem is that then you've got Dan Moore for the whole season at left tackle, and you're playing with fire. So I don't know if I could get on board with that. I'll give him Dan Moore.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you would.
I don't know. I think I'm more of a bargain shopper. Let's. I'll give you the Calvin Austins and the Dan Moores and
all the rejects on the team.
Yeah. I'll give you them. I'll give you the first round pick. Like I'll do that.
We'll even throw you in Dylan Cook. All right, how's that?
Right. Yeah, you'll bend me with the first round pick, fine. But I'll give you the CA3s and the Moores. I'll even go as far as Roman Wilson. Fine. But man, to give you something that just makes us weak. And like I said, that's a position where we can't go, I've got, a Golden or a Herbig behind him, like they do on the outside linebacker core, right? Or inside linebacker.
You do have a starter.
Stacked an inside line. Well, no, he's not a starter.
Quotation mark starter.
Yeah, that's not a starter. He's not a starter. And so it's one of those things where we got more good backups at different positions. This one we don't. I'm not there. You understand what I'm saying? You make yourself pretty weak if you go that route. That's just me personally.
All right, let me pitch it to you this way. Would you rather have Dan Moore and Brandon Ayuk for 2024 or Van Jefferson and Broderick Jones for 2024?
I know it sounds crazy, but I'd rather have Van Jefferson and Broderick Jones.
See,
and here's why. Van Jefferson has actually looked really good. He's healthy. Yeah. He's fast. Yeah. He's looked good.
Yeah.
He's putting in the work. Broderick Jones is a natural left tackle, except the Steelers all know that apparently. He's going to be way better than Dan Moore. Dan Moore is horrendous.
Are we sure though, Dave? That's my only pushback on this.
Are we sure about Dan Moore? Really? Are we asking this question?
I know Dan Moore is below average. I'm not saying he's a Pro Bowler.
You're talking about Broderick.
Yeah, I'm talking about Broderick. Do we know Broderick Jones is going to be a good left tackle?
Well, they got to put him there for us to find out.
And I'm telling Steelers fans right now, we might not find out till week 8, week 9, if that at this point, because Dan Moore is going to start week 1. I can almost guarantee Dan Moore is going to start week 1. And as long as he doesn't completely implode, You know, they're going to leave Broderick Jones at right tackle and leave Fuatano on the bench. We could see this coming a mile away. I don't know. If
I
Broderick
don't.
Jones isn't going to play hardly anyway, and we're going for it in 2024, you can always draft another left tackle in 25
Yeah,
if we have to.
but it always goes back to what I said before, Dave, and that's you have the two top quarterbacks that hold the ball the longest more than anybody in the league. We didn't go get just one. We went and got the top two. Like,
Oh no, I get it. No, I get it.
now there's just no way they're going to get killed with Dan Moore at left tackle. Do you know the other day he was first team reps and 7-on-7, he gave up two straight sacks and a tackle for a loss on his side in a row, Dave, in a row. Like, bro, no, like just no. What is he doing? Does he stand there and just goes, "Whoops, there he went," and just looks away like, "Oh, there he went." Like, what are we doing?
I know. I mean, we're all pretty familiar with Dan Moore's work over the last couple of years.
He's got the reflexes of Kendrick Green. It's the same shit.
Well, this is what concerns me now, Dave. We all see it. We all know it. Why the fuck can't Broderick Jones beat him out for the left tackle job? What's going on?
And I don't
What is going on?
That's a good point. This is year 2. So why is it that he's not? But I think it's because they're so focused on Broderick Jones at right tackle. That's why. But it doesn't make any sense. You just drafted another
Fuatano in the first round.
You just drafted right. So it boggles my mind too. But you know who's if this preseason game tomorrow, if they give it a look, right? If they give Broderick Jones the left tackle look and give Fuatano the look at right tackle, and it looks legit, man, I'm hoping that they kind of change their mind with this. I really hope it changes their mind. Or put Dan Moore out there and he's a sieve at the left side and is just letting everybody go in there and damn near kill. Because I think Fields is starting.
Fields is starting, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
We'll get to the
guess
game.
What? If Moore's there at left tackle, we're going to find out real quick.
Watch yourself. I've heard this floated too, and this makes a little bit of sense. Are they showcasing Dan Moore for the 49ers or just trying to prop up his value, saying he's our starter to increase his value a little bit so that the 49ers will take him? I don't know. John Lynch is a pretty good general manager. They got a good head coach. I don't think they're falling for it. Here's Dan Moore. Take Dan Moore.
Honestly, the more I think about it, just give them a package of 2 or 3 guys along with the second round pick. Give them CA3 or Roman Wilson, right? Dan Moore, the second round pick, and then pick a third guy. What do they need, right?
Yeah.
We'll throw you at the third guy too. Fuck it. Just to get it over with, get it done with.
Yeah.
But don't give up your future left tackle. We'll just say future left tackle for now.
Yeah.
Don't give him up when you just traded for him last year. I don't agree with that. What else? I at most Roman Wilson for wide receiver talent wise. I am not giving up George Pickens. That's ridiculous.
No. To me, George Pickens is not the table.
Yeah.
If you're doing this deal, you're going all in on 2024. I mean, obviously, I was going to be around for a long time and blah, 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 but you're going all in for this year. You don't want to trade George Pickens and end up at square one all over again with one wide receiver. That's not the point of this trade. The point of this trade is to have 2 good receivers, not one. One more thing. Did you see that DeMarvin Leal got moved to outside linebacker?
Yes, I was going to bring that up.
So
what the hell's that about?
Are we including an outside linebacker in this package? Is Herbig going?
I mean, I just said that's a position of strength that you could trade from, right? Yeah. That was my point. That makes more sense.
And they signed Golden.
But the question is, who?
Highsmith?
Who?
Highsmith's the only one that moves the needle. I mean, Herbig? Herbig's
Herbig. So
he's a
again,
project.
If you go Herbig, CA3, Dan Moore, and the second round pick.
He's a Steve. You're going to give him the corpse of Presley
bargain, baby. Bargain shopper. Let's go. But
the 49ers play different.
Is a little higher than we think. I mean, you got to remember, he's kind of blocked right now. I'm using like baseball terms. He's blocked right now by other players. But I mean, in little action that he's seen, he's made an impact. So like, is it that crazy to think they could be high on him? They could be on Herbig. But if you throw in him, Dan Moore, and CA3, now you're hitting wide receiver with speed, a up and coming outside linebacker, edge rusher, and an offensive lineman that we've shown we don't know how to fucking do things on offensive linemen that other teams do. That's something.
You sound like a used car salesman. Take this
Oh,
beat up,
hey,
tinged up. It's got a lot of potential and this and that.
hey,
Yeah,
I've been a fantasy football manager for years. I can sweet talk people for deals. Don't get me wrong.
so to sum this up, we don't know what, who, when, where this is going to get done. Uh, we've read the Patriots are out, the Browns are out, and the Browns are back in, the Browns are out. I don't know how many teams are in this thing.
I've changed who I'm concerned about. I'm more worried about the Commanders.
Commanders now?
It's the Commanders for me now because that's who he wants to go play for, if not us. Yeah. It's them. So they could easily swoop in and be like, here you go. Here's first round pick and whatever, right?
Yeah.
And get him. I mean, they certainly
possible.
They got Terry McLaurin. Do they float him or would they want to keep him? Because it's kind of the same scenario. Thing. It's the same scenario as us, right? You want to add to that wide receiver core, but they got Jahan Dotson too.
Yes, they do. They can
drafted him.
In the deal.
So they could use him or it's vice versa. It's Terry they float. So they scare me more now than anybody because the Patriots, I changed my mind on the Patriots because he just absolutely does not want to go play.
He doesn't want to go there.
Period.
He doesn't.
Same thing with the Browns. He doesn't want to play.
Yeah. I think if he wanted to play for those two teams, he'd be there already.
So if the Commanders know if they sweeten the deal just a little bit more than us, the 49ers may take the deal.
Yeah, I mean, this is what it's come down to is he wants to play for the Steelers or maybe the Commanders, and the 49ers don't like the offers that are coming back from the Steelers for sure. So we're at a kind of a standstill right now.
It's not a maybe. It's either the Steelers or the Commanders, period. Yeah. He either wants to play for Tomlin or go play with his buddy Jaden Daniels.
Yep. So we'll have to wait and see still. I don't know. I couldn't even venture a guess when this gets done.
It may never get done. It may not happen. They may just sit on it.
Imagine it not happen after all this.
They're chancing that he could be like, you know what? I'm sitting out the season.
He could do that too. But then
that might be what they're worried about. So
yeah.
I think they're playing the long game, them and the Steelers. And we're playing chicken, and let's see who gives in first. That's what I think's going on.
This isn't like a Raider situation where they're just pushovers in the front office. John Lynch is a good general manager. He's not just gonna buckle for no reason. He's gonna hold out to the very last second. So this could go on weeks, months, right. God only knows. All right, Dave, believe it or not, there is a football game tomorrow. This would be top tier headline if it wasn't for the Brandon Ayuk stuff. First preseason game of the season. Houston Texans in Pittsburgh. There's a lot of stuff I'm interested in. A lot of stuff I want to see tomorrow. First and foremost, Arthur Smith's offense. Let's see what this looks like with the Steelers. Justin Fields is going to start. We talked about that. I'm pumped just for that first series to see how this goes. See what kind of, is it 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends? There's going to be boots, rollouts, all that stuff that he's known for. Yeah, I can't wait for it.
To see a real NFL offense that we haven't got to see in a very long time. That's going to be nice to see. I'm interested to see the schemes and just the little things that he inputs, the focus on certain players, the packages and stuff like. I can't wait, especially like you said, that scheme with the tight ends is going to be awesome to see. Just how much he's going to unleash Fryman. I really am looking forward to that.
Yeah.
More focus on getting George Pickens the ball. That was another thing that drove me nuts with Matt Canada. Is like, dude, that was your best playmaker minus DJ. Like, get him the damn ball. It didn't happen until he got fired and Mason Rudolph took over at quarterback. So I'm interested to see that. But yeah, the biggest thing is going to be just seeing an actual NFL ran offense. I'm looking very forward to that. And the battles. There's actually technically there's a lot of battles.
Yeah. Offensive line. Up and down the offensive line,
huge.
Herbig versus Frazier.
Sounds like a boxing match.
Spencer Anderson's getting a lot of burn in training camp. How's he going to look at guard with the second team? Dylan Cook, want to see how he does as a second team tackle. If he plays well,
so
what's that?
They're high on Cook.
They are high on Cook, and maybe that's why
you factor in Mason McCormick as well. Yeah. Like the hype's there with him. This kid too. I mean, a 4th round pick, but hey, they took him for a reason. And oh yeah, we didn't even bring up. We forgot to bring up Jason Daniels too. Or I'm sorry, yeah,
Jaden
Daniels.
Daniels.
No. I'm talking about in these trades
Oh,
for
James
Ayuk.
Daniels. Yes,
James
yes,
Daniels.
yep,
Sorry, I
yep.
got my names mixed up. But yeah, we forgot to bring him up too, involved in a trade
He's been
possibly too.
talked. Yep, he has been
So,
talked up.
but that's what makes these guards and the competition for
Yep.
this game tomorrow night pretty important because if one of these guys looks really fucking legit, that's another one. That's another one that could make Daniels more expendable in a trade.
Yeah, for sure. I'm interested in seeing who else. Calvin Austin. They said they had to pull him off the field because he's been going 110 miles an hour the whole time,
You
and they
saw
had to
that
give him a
too.
rest. I'm like, all right, I want to see this in a game now. He's
Yeah.
got me intrigued all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Quez Watkins supposed to be blazing fast. Let's see if he can do something, make a name for himself.
Right, because as of right now, these guys are still the ones in competition for the number 2 spot. So, I mean, Van Jefferson's the guy right now. Is he going to get usurped by one of these guys, or is he going to hold him off? Or is he going to look legit? He's healthy. They say he's doing things he did in his past that made him real successful when he had his best, seasons. I'm interested to see it. Let's see who it is that's going to step up because as of now, they're it. So we'll see. I'm bummed that Roman Wilson's hurt and we won't get to see him.
Oh yeah, I forgot to do this. The players that are not playing in this game. Mike Tomlin announced 7. Plus, I'll give you a few of the guys that are hurt: Russell Wilson, Isaac Seumalo, T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Alex Highsmith, Patrick Queen. The 7 that are definitely not playing. Then you got Braden Fehoko has been injured the last couple of days. He's probably not going to play. Roman Wilson obviously isn't going to play. Dean Lowry's been on PUP. He's not going to play. They said Marcus Golden's kind of dinged. He's questionable to play this game too. So those are the names that we will not see. But that just opens up. We know what those guys can do. TJ Watt and Highsmith not playing. That means we get to see Herbig and Jeremiah Moon, which I'm dying to see Jeremiah Moon and see how he does.
Is he healthy now? Or we're not going to see him?
Yeah, he practiced the last 2 practices, so he should be good to go.
Okay, good. Yeah, I agree. I want to see him too.
I want to see how he does.
Beanie Bishop, baby.
Beanie Bishop, and even Grayland Arnold had another pick this week, so he's not letting up on the gas.
Another one.
Beanie Bishop
he ain't giving up either. He's another one.
That's going to be fun to watch.
Dude, Corey Trice. Oh my gosh, it just hit me. We finally get to see Corey Trice.
See him in the dime. See how they're going to use him
to see it. Yeah, no, that's going to be fun. Darius Rush, another corner that I want to see what he can do.
Dying to see him.
Dude, yeah, there's definitely some names here that I can't wait to see.
Marvin Leal, an outside linebacker. Let's see what he can do.
There's another
live action. I mean, he's gotten some playing time there in the past.
He must have. I don't know. I'm guessing he lost a lot of weight, and I mean, he showed them something to where they're like, "Yep, we're officially just gonna pull the trigger and put him at outside linebacker or something."
Yeah. What else do I got? I want to see this new kickoff. I haven't watched a preseason game yet. I haven't totally followed all the rules, so I'm interested to see how that works out and how the Steelers play it. They say they might use some defensive linemen on kickoff return to make tackles.
Yeah, I mean, I got to see it with the XFL or USFL, whichever one it was that was instituting this in the first place. And I mean, it is going to keep guys a lot safer because they're only getting 10 yards to run at each other.
Yeah.
But it does make it a lot easier for a guy to just take that ball and take it to the house.
Yep. I've seen some teams trying to get their linebackers to be kickers so they can have an extra tackler on the field for the thing.
That's the thing I like about this is that there's new strategy involved. And it's going to be fun to watch what all these teams try to come up with to have that extra edge, on these things.
Yep.
The only thing I don't like about some stuff is you have to announce now when you're going to do an onside kick, and you can only do it like after the third quarter or something like that.
Yeah, and you can't do it unless you're behind.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
take some of
that kind of stuff I don't like because that's what takes the strategy out of it, or the surprise, or the fun out of it. Was stuff like that. But I do like the new rule change in general, how they're trying to do this with safety on this part because there is more strategy that's got to get involved with it.
Darth Sniper gave us a question: is the possibility of Fields getting hurt is what limited him from the preseason game? I believe Fields is playing. I don't know if you're talking about Russell Wilson. I don't think Russell Wilson's got enough snaps yet to play in this game. I think that's why he's not playing.
And they're not going to risk it. If he's in sole possession of the number 1, then they're going to be careful with him with this calf injury. He just overcame it. He just got good enough to practice. So they're going to take it easy with him. but this at the same time gives Fields an opportunity
Yeah.
to shine.
How
If he
long does
goes
Fields
out
play?
there and just slings it and looks legit, then I mean that's gonna be interesting to see.
It's a big opportunity for Justin Fields.
It
He
is.
looks
It's huge.
good.
It's
You
huge.
know, he can really. I don't know how long he plays. I heard some theorize he could play the half, and they don't have after him. It's
Well, it's Kyle Allen and
Kyle
John
Allen,
Plumley.
John Rice Plumley. So
Yeah. So
I
they're
don't even
gonna
know if
play him a
this.
lot.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're serious about Plumley being a quarterback. They talked about him maybe returning kicks.
He took one to the house the other day.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in practice. So I don't know, but I mean, it's all they got. What are they going to do? They're going to have to do that. Either Fields is going to go 2 quarters, or it's going to be Kyle Allen.
Yeah. Sniper said they said Fields would only probably play a few series. That's why he was talking about it.
That to
If he
me
did-
is interesting. If he only
Yeah.
plays a few series,
It's
that's
the first
kind of
preseason game, though.
yeah,
probably,
but that's telling, Dave.
Think so?
That's starter mentality there. 2 series, that's a starting quarterback
yeah.
way of doing things.
Well, maybe
Think
with
about it. Ben, all of them, they would only go a couple series
Yeah.
as a starter. Mitch, Kenny, all those guys that were technically the starters in those seasons, they only went a couple series in that first game.
maybe they're playing it safe because Russell Wilson's already dinged. They don't want to get Fields dinged and have nobody.
It could be.
Like,
I don't know.
yeah.
To me, that's really interesting.
It could
That
be.
means
I mean,
because I forget who it was. Somebody was reporting that it really is a competition. Like it's not one of these.
well, Tomlin said it in the press conference he gave. He said, "Yes,
Okay.
it's still a competition." And they said, "Well, is there somebody with a leg up?" And Tomlin said, "Well, did you see my depth chart that I put out yesterday? Because Russell Wilson is the guy." So I'm interested. I'm the further this goes along, the more I want to see Justin Fields be the starter on this team. I just get more and more excited about that extra thing he gives the offense with his running ability. He's super exciting. I'm not going to be mad if Russell Wilson is a starter, obviously, but
I'm like I said, I'm not there where I'm picking a guy yet. I haven't really seen much of Russell Wilson because he's been hurt. So it's for me, it's going to take. I'm going to have to see them in games to really do the eye test of who I think really looks legit or looks like they should be the number one starter. I'm not going to give, and I'm not cheering for one or the other either. I told you that already. I'm not cheering for one or the other. I just want the best man for the job to win it. So let their play do the talking, man.
absolutely. Peyton Wilson. Want to see Peyton Wilson in action?
Oh yeah,
Can't wait
that's
for
a good
that,
one.
right?
I forgot about him. Yeah, Peyton. I like I said, to me, I almost think that he should be the starter over Elandon Roberts purely because of his coverage. Yeah, yeah, I
Easy.
know.
Elandon's my man. You can't
Hey,
replace
look,
him.
I'm not Mike Tomlin. I start rookies.
That's for
Sorry.
sure.
Sorry,
You
Um,
definitely have a different mindset than him.
but that's something to watch. What if he does go out there and balls out there and
Yeah.
looks legit? Like,
Yep.
and I love Elandon Roberts, but I'm just saying, like, you start facing those high powered offenses, you're going to need 2 guys that can cover to be out there.
Yep.
Just saying. But no, I that's a good one. I can't believe I forgot to mention that. Who's another one? Oh, Darnell Washington.
Yeah.
Like I want to see because he's been looking pretty good, especially in goal line. He's been looking real good.
Yeah. He's caught a couple passes. This is the offense for him. I mean, this is tailor made for a guy like him. He should be able to play well in this offense. You would think. All the tight ends.
Did we bring up Deshaun Elliott or Dante Jackson? Because I think those are 2.
Yeah.
that-
No, we haven't brought them up. Yeah. That's the first time we'll see them in a Steelers uniform. Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see those 2, see how they do.
100%.
I'm really hoping that Dante Jackson was just a case of a guy just trying to do too much down in Carolina. I really hope that's what it is. And Deshaun
Yeah,
Elliott,
that's a
I mean, he's a tackling safety. That's what he's more known for, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's an the
So-
box type of guy. Yep.
Yeah. So I like I said, I'm excited to see. Oh, Logan Lee. That's another one we didn't think of.
Yeah. Logan.
I want to
yep.
see how Logan Lee does on the line.
This is big
No,
for
that's-
Loudermilk because he's third team.
Yeah.
He needs to have a good preseason game.
Yeah, no
'Cause
doubt.
He might be on the outside looking in.
Is Cam Sutton going to play this game?
I was thinking about that before we got on, and I'm not sure he's eligible.
Yeah, I don't
to
know
play in
either.
the preseason games. I'll
I don't
have
know
to
the
look that
rules,
up. I'll
but
have to look that up.
I would love to see my man at safety. I want to see
Yeah, me
that
too.
too.
Me too. Yeah,
I like to see that. How about Mark Robinson? Is this his swan song or
I
what?
think so. I think so. You got Dirty Red. You got Peyton Wilson.
Dude,
You got all these guys. I think. Well, he's still a really good special teams player, so maybe not. Maybe he hangs
yeah,
on that way.
maybe.
Lyndon
We,
Roberts is going to play a lot of special teams, so
we got to get a look at Ryan Watts, the other guy they
Ryan Watts,
drafted.
I had him written down as one of the
Yep,
guys I definitely want to get a look at. He'll probably be playing safety, right? That's how they've been using
I
him.
believe so. Yeah.
So that's interesting for sure.
There's just so many like
Yeah,
moving parts of guys that can play corner or play safety, guys that were D linemen that are playing outside linebacker now, and just I don't know, man. It's crazy to see how this works. I can't wait. It's a long 6 months we wait for
yeah.
this.
We've waited a long time
Uh,
for this, bro, for sure.
and I need it after watching my Pirates absolutely
Oh,
shit the bed this past week. It's been really hard to watch the Pirates do what they did, and I need the Steelers right now. Like I really
as
need
an
them.
as an outsider looking in at the Pirates fans and the roller coaster they go on, you guys get a couple wins and you get all excited, then you get a couple losses, and it's like, oh, here we go again. It's just
I think we blew 4 leads going into
Jesus
like
Christ.
yeah, it's it's been rough, bro. Like it's the pain is just there's no other pain like being a Pirates fan. It's bad.
I feel bad for you guys. I
So
really do. I
so
mean,
I needed the Steelers season to start. Like I needed this tomorrow night. I can't wait.
a couple more things I want to look at. The backup running backs. The Dejon Edwards. This Jonathan Ward's had a good camp, and
Yeah,
Aaron
he has
Shemkin
actually.
too. You hear Aaron Shemkin's name a lot, so I kind of want to see how that shakes out. I thought Edwards. I really thought he had a good shot at winning the running back 3. You haven't heard much from him at all.
None.
He's been very quiet.
I
So,
know Jonathan Ward's had some big plays.
yep,
Uh the problem is they're trying to fight the mountain that is Cordell Patterson in that third spot. And the
yeah,
Steelers want him for those returns.
yep,
So
yep.
I don't know, man. They're gonna have to really do something to take that spot, that third running back spot. And I mean, they have to really do something big time.
Yep.
I'll tell you
Uh,
what, and I just thought about this. I wonder if one of them it would offer or try to get a shot at returning kicks. Like, say they're outperforming him just on the
just
field
try, just try to
on
take his job
offense.
altogether. Yeah.
Now and if one of them goes, "Hey, I can return kicks. Give me a
I
shot."
wonder. I wonder. I don't think he's a lead pipe block, to make the. I mean, I know they signed him to return kicks, but he's been injured. He hasn't been, giving them anything. They let John Reese Plumley return kicks, so they have that in their back pocket too. I think still that there's a lot to be resolved in the running back situation as
Another
far as the
thing.
third guy.
Another thing we didn't bring up, it just occurred to me was the fullback battle between Connor
I was
Hayward and
just,
Jack
I
Coletto.
was just going to bring that up. Yeah, I was just going to bring that up next. How do they use him? Do they use Hayward as a true fullback, like lead blocking fullback?
Right,
Or is
right.
that going to be? I don't know. That's going to be super interesting. Do they use the
Again,
fullback at all? How much do they use
yeah,
the fullback?
I'm curious to see what Arthur Smith does with this. Like with an actual, is he going to act an actual traditional fullback, like you said? And Coletto is actually a real fullback. So like, can he
Yeah.
look that much better at fullback than Connor Hayward? You know what I'm saying? Like, can he have that much of an impact to put Connor Hayward in any danger at all? Which I highly doubt it, but because of how much Connor Hayward can do, but you never know, man. Like if a guy's that good at it, maybe he does in an Arthur Smith offense.
Yeah. And this is the other question I have. With all this talk about fullbacks and extra tight ends, and why is getting another wide receiver so important to the Steelers at this point? I mean, maybe I'm thinking about it too much, but if you're gonna have 2 tight ends on the field all the time, and if you're gonna use a fullback and you're gonna run the ball a lot, do you need that superstar second guy? Or can you just get away with Van Jefferson or
I think that they see what they have to keep up with these other contenders. And like you think about it, right? You you think about the San Francisco 49ers and the Chiefs and, the Buffalo Bills before they did their little excavation of
Yeah.
their team. You think about these teams, like they have a couple running backs, they have a couple wide receivers, they have a fullback, they have a tight end. Like the Steelers don't quite have that now when they got rid of DJ, right? And also now they have added a real offensive coordinator, but they got to make sure they have those two wide receivers that are going to give teams problems. It's all about coverage. If you know you can focus on one guy and take him out of the game,
Yeah.
and it ain't going to hurt you, then you're good to go. But if you've got two guys, a wide receiver that are going to hurt you really bad, and they're going to really unleash Freiermuth on top of having two stud running backs, I think that's just the way they're thinking. They're thinking they got to have two wide receivers that single-handedly will need double coverage, or they'll have to choose their poison, and one's going to rake.
Yeah,
one's going to rake.
Offense with Brandon Ayuk on it, it's scary.
Yeah.
Provided the quarterback plays good. We talked about this in the last podcast. If the quarterbacks shit the bed and don't play well, this all could be for naught. That's the risk, right? Of trading a first round pick, is that the quarterbacks don't play well and you're screwed with no first round pick. And
well, that's why I think they went and got Justin Fields too. They were not going to put all their eggs in one basket. They saw a chance to get Fields for nothing, basically
nothing. Yeah,
and they pulled the trigger. It was a brilliant move by Khan. It really was. Well, we'll see if it ends up being a brilliant move, but it's no risk.
Brainer.
You're paying one $1 million, and you're paying the other nothing, and it's a fourth round pick at most. So, it was. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
He could easily play halfway decent. They could turn that into, if they wanted to, a second round pick or a first round pick for Justin Fields, if that's the case. What else? Anything else you're looking forward to before we get out of here?
To get an actual look at the new punter, man. Like
that's true too.
Yeah, yes. I want to see Johnson. I want to see him booting the shit out of the ball, because we haven't gotten to see that in years too. Or I'm sorry, not boot the ball, but do it accurately and consistently is going to be nice to see. That's what I want to see. I guess I've been seeing that Boswell's been looking really bad.
He's struggling. He is.
Yeah. So that's another thing I kind of want to see. Like, is this just him,
let's hope
is this just a coincidence or is something going on, or, so that's another thing I would like to see as well. But yeah, there's so many moving parts here. There's so many different positions. For me, it's not even just about the starters. It's about the second string and being this stuff matters, man. It's important in a season. A full season, you're going to have people get hurt. Who are they going to plug in? The standard is the standard. Who's going to step up? So I'm curious to see how this goes.
Yeah, we think this team's pretty deep right now, but we got to see it. We got to see these backups, see if they're actually as good as we think they are. We don't know how good Jeremiah Moon is, or we don't know if Peyton Wilson's the real deal or not, but we'll get to see him in live action. And those of us who don't get to go to training camp, which is the majority of us, this is our first look at all of these guys and this offense. So that's exciting. It's not a new head coach, but it's close because it's a totally new offense, right? So that's something we haven't seen. And, because Matt Canada wasn't that different from the one before him. And it was all kind of, Randy Fitchner to Matt Canada. It's been 4 or 5 years of the same shit, and it actually got worse with Matt Canada.
And this is the first game, and with this offense, so it could look pretty sloppy in this first game.
They probably could. Yeah.
Let's not forget that too.
Second, right? Because they played the Hall of Fame
They
game,
played,
right?
yeah. So this could look a little rough. I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning, the O line. Let's see how they gel. Some of these guys, if with the new guys mixed in, if they mix in the rookies with the ones, that could be an interesting thing to watch too.
That's the point we should bring up. They did announce that they're going to go with their it's going to be Dan Moore, Spencer Anderson, Herbig, James Daniels, and Broderick Jones to start the game, and then they'll mess around with it after. So I'm telling you that very well could be week one starting offensive line right there.
Yeah.
Without Spencer Anderson, obviously with Sam Allen instead of Spencer Anderson. So we'll see. We banged around that offensive line quite a bit. I know you mentioned McCormick. I really want to see how he does. He's an important guy. I'm really looking forward to seeing him. That's all I got. I think, Dave, you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, but that's all I got, man.
All right. Next time we talk, we'll have a preseason game under our belt. plenty to talk about then. A lot of things to go over. We'll probably watch the game a couple times, see how everybody did. All right. You can follow me on X at SteelersSank16. Email the show at DAVER@SteelersSanctuary.com. Subscribe to the podcast, rate and review, guys. That helps us out a lot. I can't stress that enough. Don't forget, check out my website, SteelersSanctuary.com. I post once a week. I will probably be doing a 53-man roster prediction this week. It's about that time. So we'll look forward to that. Dave, give me stuff. Let's get out of here.
Yep. You can find me on Twitter at DMC3SSP. You can find me on TikTok at Steelers Sanctuary Podcast or at SteelSancPod.
All right. Until next time, thanks for listening to the Steelers Sanctuary Podcast.